Hey guys, Ewan here with the Old School Labs, and we are starting this video with a physique update of a bodybuilder that is not going to be competing with Mr. Olympia, who had to pull out, and he's just one of many. This year started really good. I mean, we had so many great bodybuilders doing the Mr. Olympia, but then so many of them, 8 of them right now, pulled out. I mean, many of them because of the traveling problems, corona, being positive tested and stuff like that. Cedric here, however, did not pull out for that reason. He decided not to compete, or he was stopped from competing because he had a fracture in his collarbone, and also he broke his wrist. Here you can see it on his hand. He has cast on it, so it's still not good. Here you can see his legs, but before we analyze his physique, his legs in particular, we're gonna go back to his upper body update and let's take a look at what's going on here. So I don't think he lost a lot of muscle, if any. I mean, he lost glycogen in the muscle and water all over his body. He probably went off, or at least he's cruising very low doses and he's not training hard. And when you do that, you lose the fullness. He lost the fullness, the hardness. But whatever he lost, I'm sure he lost a little bit muscle, but very tiny little bit. And once he starts training hard again and pushing, the drugs and everything, he will grow. He will get back the fullness and the hardness that he kind of lost. But yeah, still not bad. But it's not like he was injured for a year or anything like that. I mean, it's been maybe like a month or so, I don't know, a couple of weeks. So yeah, I mean, he couldn't have lost a lot of size for that short time, but yeah, he lost some fullness, some hardness for sure. When he filmed this video, he says that he's happy with the legs. He says that his legs didn't really lose a lot of size, but these legs don't look very impressive to me, but they weren't really that impressive to begin with. They were back in the day, but lately his legs kind of were downsized a little, and here, I mean, I don't think they look big here. He looks kind of like he's losing them because of age. I don't know. I mean, that's something you see with older bodybuilders. Their legs start to get smaller, but they kind of start to look like this. They lose the pop, they lose the sweep. They kind of get smaller as they're getting closer to the knees, and they're bigger in their upper area, like closer to the hips. So that's something that happens with older bodybuilders, and I'm sure it's happening with Cedric as well, because he's not getting any younger. He is in his 40s. So yeah, I mean, overall he kind of lost some size, but it's mainly like glycogen and water, and he'll regain it back once he starts training hard again. But will he ever be as good as he once was when he was younger? Is this physique ever achievable again for him? I don't know. I don't feel like it. I don't think so. No, I think age took a toll on his body, and I don't think we're gonna see Cedric ever looking super impressive like this again. Even though his body might even want to do that, even though his body might be able to get in this shape, in this fullness, in these super crazy proportions, it might be able to. I don't think he has the fire. I don't think he has the passion. I don't think the fire in him is burning as high as it once was back in the day when he was younger, when he was still a hungry young bodybuilder. I think he kind of lost that a little bit. So, it is what it is. We'll still have the photos and we can remember him as being one of the best bodybuilders ever. In my opinion, this is perfect physique. But this is how I would like to look. This is my ideal physique, honestly. I mean, he's my height as well, so I can relate to this physique in a way. I mean, I like Dorian's physique, but he's much shorter than me, so I can't really, imagine myself looking like that. But this, wow, just super impressive, and I would love to look like this. I know I never will, probably, but just I am amazed by this physique. This is just perfection, if you ask me. All right, next we have Roelly Winklaar, definitely announcing that he's not going to be competing in the Mr. Olympia. Now, I mentioned this before. You saw the photo of those 8 guys. 7 of them are open bodybuilders, and one of them is Roelly. Unfortunately, this is the most recent bodybuilder who gave up on Mr. Olympia. Not really gave up, but was stopped because he tested positive on coronavirus. Yep, Roelly Winklaar will not be here. He will not be at the Mr. Olympia this year, unfortunately. Here is his announcement, in which he posted a photoshopped photo of himself. I don't know why he did that. Maybe just to tell us that he's so good that he could have won Mr. Olympia. Because take a look at his physique right here. I mean, the legs on the right photo here. photoshopped, obviously, and he doesn't need to do that. I mean, we know he's good enough to possibly win the Mr. Olympia, even without Photoshop. But yeah, unfortunately, he won't be there. Still, it's gonna be a great Mr. Olympia, guys. Don't worry about that. I mean, we had 7 top bodybuilders, and anybody who could have won it from that top 7. Now we have a really good top 6. And the rest of the guys, like top 12, maybe is really good as well. I mean, the second tier bodybuilders are also really bringing it this year. But the top 6 is going to be amazing still. I mean, it would have been too good if we had every single body, there. And like top 8 or top 9 bodybuilders to be like all, so good that you don't know who's going to win it. Like, that would be, I don't know, probably the best Mr. Olympia in the history of Mr. Olympia. That would be too much, right? But still, it's going to be an amazing Mr. Olympia even without Roelly. But Roelly, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry about that, very much so. I kind of predicted he maybe even taking a second spot this year. I was expecting that, so no, unfortunately, Roelly will not be competing this year. It's not the end of the world, we still have a lot of good bodybuilders, but not Roelly, unfortunately. And kind of at the same time, when Roelly announced not competing in Mr. Olympia, we heard these rumors that Hadi actually got the visa. No, unfortunately, not necessarily that he is traveling or that he is in United States currently, but that he got the visa. And still, I mean, he has, how many? 5 days until Mr. Olympia, which is not great. I mean, that would be a long flight, and he would definitely need some time for his body to adjust if he wants to, be good at Mr. Olympia. But, things were complicated. So he didn't really have the luxury of traveling like a month out or 3 weeks out or whatever would be ideal. But he got the visa, apparently, based on a couple of sources, such as right here, RX Muscle, who got the confirmation from Nick Trigili. And sometimes this guy has the proper information, sometimes he's completely off. So we can't really make a definite conclusion based on that. Although he is known for having some contacts over there in the Middle East, so maybe he knows something. And then we also have Maximum Muscle Report announcing this as well. Hadi Choopan finally got his visa, should be able to compete at the Mr. Olympia LLC. So we got 2 sources and so many people sharing these. So it could be accurate. Hadi didn't say anything. He actually did talk about Roelly Winklaar not competing. He addressed the situation by making this post in which he says a few things, but to cut it short, he basically says, we are almost in the same situation, Roelly and him, and he also says that he can still fight for his chance. So he didn't say that he fought successfully, that he actually fought his way through getting that visa and that he is going to be able to travel, but he says that he can still fight for it, and it was like 1 day ago, so maybe something happened in the meantime. Maybe he finally got it, but didn't get the chance to talk about it, didn't get the chance to make an official post. Maybe he wants to surprise us, I don't know, but we got that info, and it's not a lot. Let's hope for the best, let's be optimistic. I would really love to see Hadi on that stage, especially now. Because take a look at this guy, take a look at the size. Just the sheer size, and then the granity, the hard muscle that he has. I mean, this hardness, the fullness, and the conditioning. Wow. Just wow. Take a look at his upper body. It seems like he grew so much in the upstairs area. Last year, that was the biggest criticism. I mean, he had good legs, and he has absolutely freaky legs now. But his upper body was lagging, especially the arms. Now, do his arms look smaller than his lower body? I don't think so. I don't see anything missing on his upper body. I mean, his proportions are just right. I mean, not just right, they're absolutely freaky. He has everything now. I mean, the upper body looks to be matching the lower body as well. So with this improved package, Hadi could very well win the Mr. Olympia. He was pretty close last year, so why not win it this year? I don't know. Let's hope he gets over there and the travel doesn't ruin his physique. But take a look at this. Wow, he grew so much. Alright, how about we take a little break by digressing a little. Let's put it in a slower gear for a moment before we get to big guys as well. We have a few stories about the bigger guys as well. But now let's go to old school bodybuilders who are retired for quite a while. I mean, only one right here, Dorian Yates, who unfortunately injured himself. I think he broke his arm. There is a lengthy description here, you can read it if you want, but basically what Dorian says here, or actually what his wife wrote for him, as you can see, she was using some emojis here that Dorian is not actually known for using. She says, or actually he says, but she wrote it for him, that he was riding a bicycle and hit something and fell and broke his arm. So yeah, I'm feeling sad for Dorian. You guys know that I'm his #1 fan, basically. Yeah, the lifestyle that he's living right now, it's not a bodybuilding lifestyle. He doesn't really have much to do with bodybuilding these days. But I mean, the changes that he made in bodybuilding world, yeah, that kind of set the tone for bodybuilding. I mean, he basically created modern bodybuilding. You can call him a father of modern, of freaky bodybuilding, right? Because he went to places that nobody else went to before him. So he discovered some things. He made a revolution in bodybuilding. So that's why I respect him so much, and I'm really sad to see him with a broken arm. But I don't think he's handling it bad. Yeah, he might be having some pains, but look at his face. He's happy. He doesn't give a damn. He's gonna recover from this. His arm will heal, and he's gonna have his beautiful wife next to him for the entire time. He's gonna be smoking joints and still probably like having as much fun as he was having beforehand. No pun intended. And yeah, let's hope he recovers fast. Let's hope he's gonna be back, at riding bicycles and doing yoga or whatever he's doing these days as soon as possible. So yeah, speedy recovery, Dorian. Alright, so going back to the big guys, I don't want to talk too much about this one. It's just a photo update of William Bonac, in which he looks bigger than last year, the Mr. Olympia. So he's gonna be coming full this time around, not flat like last year. And he's gonna be in condition for sure. You can see here that he's absolutely ripped. He's gonna be in perfect conditioning, and it seems like he's gonna be peaking. I mean, just right? I mean, at the Arnold Classic last year, he peaked perfectly. I think that was his best ever. Yeah, he was really full and unconditioned. Then at the Mr. Olympia, he was maybe a little bit more conditioned, a bit sharper, but not as full. And that was the first time he was doing things alone without Neil Hill. Now he had some time, he actually won the Arnold Classic this year, so he had some time to practice a few things, to try out a thing or two, and he's gonna be coming. I'm sure he's gonna be peaking perfectly this year because he knows his body now. Without Neil Hill, he can do it. Though he had an injury, he had a quad injury that kind of made his physique look a little bit asymmetrical at the Arnold, and it wasn't enough to make him lose the Arnold. But at the Mr. Olympia, if it's still the same way as it was the Arnold, it might hurt him, Like he's one of those guys that can actually win the Mr. Olympia if things line up perfectly. Yeah, he can do that. Will he do it? I don't know. Let's wait and see. It's a possibility. At this point, I can say that he's going to be coming in his A game, and he looks absolutely insane. And another big guy, big Ramy right here. So it's not much of a photo. I don't want to make too big of a deal of it. It's just a screenshot of Dennis James showing his phone to Fuad Abiad. So, it's just a screenshot. You cannot really see much. You can't really make a definite conclusion on anything. I mean, it's really hard to make a conclusion based on a high quality photo. You can make a pretty good guess. But on this, you can't see anything here. So let's not even... I just wanted to mention it, to show it to you guys in case you haven't seen it. But can you really tell something based on this? Not really. Not a thing. So yeah, let's just hope we're gonna see good Big Ramy. And Dennis James is claiming that Big Ramy is gonna bring his best ever. So yeah, let's hope for that. I'm optimistic. I believe him. Yeah, I always do. But... it seems like Big Ramy is not having a conditioning problem, but more of a deep striation, deep cuts, deep separation problem. It seems to be genetic, like the same way Steve Kuklo has really shallow abs. The same thing happens with Big Ramy. He has shallow separation everywhere. I think it's just a genetic issue. I don't think it's thick skin, water retention, fat that he was lazy enough not to trim by dieting. I don't think it's anything like that. I mean, Big Ramy. You know that he's very driven. So I think that's the reason. But maybe he figured it out somehow. He figured out a way of actually looking conditioned, even though he doesn't have the deep cuts. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it's not going to be like Phil Heath kind of striations, but it's going to be better than ever. and with his size, it might just be enough for him to win the Mr. Olympia. I don't know. Let's wait a couple of days and see. And for the end, I have a pretty disappointing photo of Chris Bumstead. It's him right here with his girlfriend. They took a selfie, apparently in Florida. I mean, based on the description. But I said it before, it might be just Chris posting all photos. But based on Chris's haircut here and his beard as well, it kind of seems like it seems like this is him. Yeah, it does. But then again, I saw so many videos of him and photos and everything. He looked way bigger and fuller than this, so well, look at his arm here. It's super tiny, and he doesn't look hard or full or anything. Could he just be very depleted and he's getting ready to carb up? I don't know. I don't think so. This looks super disappointing. I mean, if this is current, I don't think it is. Just like I don't think Brandon Curry's video is recent. But based on the beard and the haircut, it kind of seems like it is him. Maybe they did a face swap or something. I don't know, Photoshop, just to confuse us fans and the other competitors, to make them relax a little. Maybe it's mind games, But I don't know. Would they really go that far to do something like that with Photoshop? Because this beard and the haircut, it looks like him right now. Yeah, and why would his girlfriend lie like this? I mean, is it an agreement? Because nowhere in the comments they said anything about joking, or there is nothing like winking or anything, I don't know. You tell me what you think down there in the comment section below, and like the video if you enjoyed it, and please subscribe for more videos like this. All the best, guys, and keep it old school.